allegiance and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bless this council as we deliberate on the behalf of Pompton Lakes.
Amen.
Thank you. All right. So I am filling in for Mayor Sarah, so bear with me a little bit tonight. I will try not to trip up too many times, but you have my permission to laugh a little bit if I do. We'll start off, statement of compliance. In conformance with the Open Public Meetings Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting, setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all who had requested and paid for the same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Liz, roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah is absent.
Yes.
Council President Devine.
I'm here.
Councilman Cruz.
Here.
Councilwoman Kent. Here. Councilwoman Hilbert.
Here.
Councilwoman Polidori is absent, and Councilman Bennett is absent.
Yes.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney, David Rubenberg, our Borough Administrator, Michael Kerr.
Okay, so first off, we have a proclamation by the Office of the Mayor, and it reads, whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of the Borough of Pompton Lakes, and whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone, and whereas childhood trauma can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse, and whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children, and whereas effective child abuse prevention activities succeed because of the partnerships created between child welfare professionals, education, health, community, and faith-based institutions, businesses, law enforcement agencies, and families, and whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that build strong children and families, and whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community in partnership to build awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment, and whereas prevention makes the best defense of our children and families. Now, therefore, I'm going to read this on behalf of the mayor. I, Michael Sarah, Mayor of the Borough of Pompton Lakes in the County of Passaic, New Jersey, and do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the Borough of Pompton Lakes, and urge all of my fellow residents to become involved in efforts aimed at preventing our children from being abused and neglected. So this proclamation, actually, it's interesting because it calls attention to child abuse, and the group that's really doing the yeoman's work of bringing that to attention is our Pompton Lakes Women's Club. So I'm glad you all came out tonight. I really appreciate it. The pinwheels that you see in the municipal building, or in front of the municipal building, are bringing that to attention. So thank you very much for your efforts, and we'll just, I guess, do the proclamation, do a photo. We have Councilwoman Kent and Councilwoman Kilberg, who are members of the Women's Club, and of course our clerk, Liz Brandness. So Michael, can you take a photo? Perfect, thank you. So everybody come on up if you're on the Women's Club.
Yeah, I duck. I usually duck a lot.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you to the Women's Club, not only for this effort, but everything that you do for the Borough of Pompton Lakes. The next up, we have a presentation on a potential Eagle Scout project by Alex Diaz. He's all loaded? Okay. Alex, come on up and just give the council a rundown of what you're proposing to do for your Eagle Scout project.
Before I start, would anyone like a hard copy of this presentation to make it easier to follow along?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, I'll take it. If you have it.
Liz, do you need one? Yeah.
All right, so just to start, I'd like to thank you all for having me here, and just thank you for your time for my presentation for my potential Eagle Scout project. So just a brief description of what I will be doing. I'm going to start out with a quick project description and the main idea of this project. I will then go into the potential plan for this project, a location, as well as the desired final outcome, the fundraising and pricing, the assembly and process, and then we can get into questions later on. So the main idea for the project is to build kiosks for 2 locations in Pompton Lakes, where kiosks are commonly used by individuals who want to connect through nature when walking through a trail, and helps people like scouts or just normal citizens, or people who would like to explore and make a plan or take a trip on a hike. Many kiosks also contain a decent amount of information on wildlife, invasive and endangered species in the area. And the plan for this project is that I would potentially be building 2 kiosks, that is subject to change later, in 2 areas of Pompton Lakes to help provide individuals with information about the trail and the environment and wildlife that is on it. The plan for this project, as I stated previously, is that I will be building potentially 2 kiosks at 2 trail entrances to provide information about the use of these trails. And I will be potentially be using measurements provided by the Pompton Lakes Trail Maintenance Committee. However, I did also go out to a kiosk and take my own measurements to get as accurate as possible. And this project will be completed by myself, members of Troop 388, the adult leaders, my scoutmaster who is a master carpenter, and any others who will volunteer their time to assist in my project. The locations I will be building this project on are on the beginning and the entrance on the path of Lincoln Ave, and I will be building a rectangle to encase this kiosk that is about 4.5 feet by 8.5 feet, which comes to a total of 38.25 square feet, and a part of the Mathis Ave, the path of Mathis Ave, that is 8 by 7 feet, which comes to about 56 square feet. One thing that I would like to note about these locations, that I am aware that they are in floodplains. However, after talking with Laura Venon, who is a member of the Trail Maintenance Committee, NJ Department permit by Rule 8 allows for a below-grade construction in the floodplain. Next slide, please. These are these kiosks are kiosks that I measured, and these are the potential final outcomes and desired final outcomes for the kiosks that will be built at these 2 locations. For fundraising, the main idea for fundraising is to send donation letters for anything that people would like to provide, including local businesses in the general area, as well as teacher, family members, and friends to raise as much possible money for this project. For the pricing, just to note that the pricing below is for 1 kiosk, however, I will go to the total pricing in just a second. So there are the total prices for main categories, including lumber, the glass and roofing, other materials including hats, blocks, and screws, as well as material for the surrounding area, like weed block, concrete, and the paint, and the gravel, which the pricing for that is below. The pricing that is above is about $585 per kiosk and about $1,621 for both kiosks, which also includes a delivery for the gravel to the respective areas, as well as food to feed both leaders, scouts, and whoever decides to show, whoever decides to appear and give their time to help assist. For the assembling and clearing, the kiosks will be assembled at my home address, which provides an easier time for cutting, as well as power and a bathroom, which makes it easier, and that potentially there will also be two groups, one group at my house, which is assembling and painting the kiosks, and another group which will be at the sites, which help preparing for the sites for the kiosks to be inserted. And for power tool safety, we will have the adult leaders and anyone who's above the age of 18 to use power tools for cutting and sanding and whatever needs to be done to the wood and assembly for these kiosks. Now, do I have any questions?
I just want to make a comment. I think just even this is very short but brief, it is very concise and it is really well thought out. And I've been very involved with the trail maintenance groups and the environmental groups and having open spaces. And I think this is a wonderful project and I totally support it. And I want to thank you very much for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. The only question I have is, the kiosk, are we gonna be able to physically lock it using a padlock or anything like that?
Yes, there will be the information that will be in the kiosks will be provided by the trail committee, and I just have to go and print it, and then you'll be able to insert the information and lock it with a padlock.
Okay, and then the keys will be held by?
I believe they will be under the maintenance of the trail committee.
Okay.
So they will have the locks to the kiosks.
Perfect. This is a great project. I think we just have to sort of give an informal go-ahead, so I'll just do a voice vote. Councilwoman Kent?
Yes.
Councilman
Absolutely.
Cruz?
Yes.
All right. You have a great project ahead of you. I've been
Yes.
involved in the trail, so I'm really looking forward to the work that you're going to complete, so,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll just have you coordinate with Michael and Lauren on the, getting everything going and everything.
I do need a signature for my paperwork, so if I can figure out who to get it.
I'll have you do it from Michael
Thank you.
Crowe. Yep.
And then if you go to the last slide, if you have any other questions, you can contact me through my email. It should be on the last slide. My email is ards2007@gmail.com, and my troop is Troop 388, and I'd like to thank you all for your time once again.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Great job. Great job.
All right, before we move on to public comment, this is usually where we give people an opportunity that don't want to stick around for the rest of the meeting to leave. So this is your 30-second warning, otherwise we may or may not close the doors and you'll be stuck here until we finish. I'm kidding, but not. It's not that bad, but thank you again for the presentation. Thank you for coming.
Have a good night. How many remotes you got, Mike? Oh.
All right, so can I get a motion to open the meeting for public comment?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Kent, seconded by Councilman Cruz. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we now have an open public comment. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Thank you. Please.
Hi, I'm Kathy Short with Pine Street, Pompton Lakes, back here about the garbage. And I thank Michael for working on it, because you're really doing great. But anyway, I had a question, and I'm sorry Mayor Sarah isn't here, because when I came here over a year ago, I had mentioned to him that I thought it would be a good idea to hire a retiree, pay him an hourly salary, no benefits or anything, where he could, go through town, sweep up, put him in one of those little trucks I see at Pompton Day. If he sees garbage, pick it up. And at the time, Mike Sarah said he liked the idea. When I came back 6 months later, Mayor Sarah said, well, he wasn't sure whether there was a conflict because the DPW is a union. And then when I saw him about 6 months later, he said at a bid meeting, he said, well, they'd have to buy a truck. The town would have to buy a truck. So I just wanted to clarify what's been done. Has it been taken under consideration? And if it has, what is the outcome? And again, I just want to say that the garbage situation is awful here, because this is Saturday at 12:45 p.m. You can see that there's a discarded diaper there along with a bag of garbage. And then this is Monday, April 8th, and so it sat there from Saturday to Tuesday, okay? And now today, I noticed that the fire hydrant by Goldberg's Bagel was completely, actually, I called and left a message on your voicemail. It was, this is earlier in the day, but it was completely covered with garbage and cardboard around a fire hydrant, which I'm sure cannot be, it's gotta be against an ordinance that you're blocking a fire hydrant, you know. So, you know, again, today, this is at, 247, they picked up garbage yesterday. Here we have 2 bags of garbage and a Red Bull, can here, that's, you know, it's just a ongoing problem. And like I said, I've been here, this is probably a year and a half ago, I started talking about this. So I just would really like an update on what has been decided about, can we hire somebody, like a part-timer, like I said, a retiree, just put a broom and a dustpan in their hand, because, you know, even, you know, our DPW cannot take the time and pick this stuff up. They just can't. They don't have the time. They've got a big enough job. So that's what I'd like to know. What's the status on it? All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Hinton? I'd be disappointed if you didn't make a public comment today.
But I hesitate because, you know, let other people go. In support of Mrs. Shortway, on the way to the meeting tonight, at our last meeting, Pompton Plaza gave a presentation on what they proposed to build on a Pompton Plaza. Now, I congratulated the council the last time I was here, and Michael, for what you guys are trying to do with the garbage in town. But on the way here, the garbage is out in front of Pompton Plaza. Obviously, they're trying to get a project going through here, and came and you honored them with a presentation that was supposed to be 15 minutes, but it went a half hour. But we're not crossing T's and dotting I's. But obviously, they didn't get the message about garbage. What are we doing about getting the message out, is what I want to know. Obviously, it's not getting it out. And I did see in front of Goldberg's when I was coming here, the garbage is out 2 days early. So this is not what we're trying to do. Other than that, I just had questions on resolutions.
Okay.
24-179, 24-183, and humane law enforcement officers, what is that, for pets? 24-187, there's a Dawes Highway Maple Ave improvement project going on. I don't know anything about that, but then I'd like to know. And 24-182, I just want to thank Michael for. That's the grant submittal for deer management program and deer population count. So I want to thank him for that. And just questions on those other resolutions.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one else, can I get a motion to close the meeting for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Kilberg, seconded by Councilman Cruz. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public portion is closed. Ms. Shortway and Mr. Hinton, I'm just going to couch both of your comments. Again, I understand, you know, this, like you said, it is an ongoing problem. It's been going on for years. We are making some action on it. I'm going to turn to our administrator just to discuss recent actions.
Thank you, Council President. So of late, myself and the Department of Public Works, we developed an educational packet that we have mailed to every business and every property owner along Wanacue Ave and in the Business Improvement District area. Those packets hit mailboxes last Friday. So, you know, while it has been an issue for a long time, they just did get the educational piece. You know, it's a variety of issues that are going on, but we do believe in part that people are not educated enough about the regulations with garbage. So to start, we're going to educate people. We're going to monitor. We have the police department involved right now. And, you know, at some point we're going to start enforcing and following up with people. To Mr. Hinton's comment about the Pompton Plaza Associates properties, I'm in direct contact with the owner right now to try to rectify the garbage issue. I just spoke to him today, actually, and he did educate his tenants as of last night about the regulations. So I'm expecting to see some sort of improvement, at least on that property, hopefully in the next week. But we are aggressively monitoring the issue and will follow up.
Thank you. Has there been any discussion about a part-time employee to do any of the cleanup along Wanacue, either employed by the bid or the borough or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Maybe that's something we need to have a discussion about then. Okay, so let's see. Next is Resolution 179, which awards a contract to Pompton Landscaping for Sustainable Jersey for the Haraldson Place Habitat Restoration Project. I'll field that real quick. A couple years ago, we received a Sustainable Jersey grant to remove invasive species from basically along the Ramapo River. We had done a lot of the work associated with that, trying to basically remove the knotweed and associated things. We identified the area. It's been a couple years now, so now we are actually contracting with Pompton Landscaping to do the restoration. We'll be putting in native species, restoring the habitat, and hopefully use that as a pilot to address some of the other areas along the river, not just along Ramapo, but also along Pequannock and Wanacue as well. So that's what that resolution addresses.
Planting trees? Are they planting trees?
I believe there might be a tree in the cost estimates, but I'm not entirely positive. There is.
There's 6 trees.
There's 6 trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shade tree to know about it, that's.
Okay. We'll reach out. I'm sure we can provide the list of species and everything like that. I mean, I could guarantee that it is consistent with the Pompton Lakes Floodplain Restoration Plan, and the trees are identified in those. Okay, so Resolution 183, appointing Sergeant Jonathan Williams and Sergeant Brian Zimmerman as municipal humane law enforcement officers for the Borough of Pompton Lakes. Michael, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you, Council President. This is a requirement as part of the police department, statutes that are applicable to them. This has to do with pets and having someone in the department designated as a humane officer that can take care of and specializes in pet, instances with pets. Lost pets, injured pets, and things like that. So we have to designate someone to do that, and I believe there's specific training for that too. Thank you.
Thanks. And then lastly, Resolution 187, awarding a contract to DMC Associates Incorporated Land Surveyors for engineering surveying services for Dawes Highway and Maple Avenue Improvement Project.
Thank you. So at the last council meeting, the governing body adopted a bond ordinance to fund the Dawes Highway Improvements Project, and that is due to receiving a New Jersey Department of Transportation grant from 2022 to repave the full stretch of Dawes Highway from the bridge to Riverdale Boulevard. So these resolutions on tonight's meeting are to award the contracts for the engineering and to do the plans and specifications for the project, and I would say best estimate to go out to bid for the project would be this summer. So residents should see that soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so next is approval of minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the following minutes? Regular meeting minutes, March 27th, 2024. Closed session meeting minutes, March 27th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Kilberg, second.
Second?
Second by Councilwoman Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolution 24-175, authorizing payment of bills, wires in the amount of $3,802,897.42. Can I get a motion to approve the following bill lists?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Cruz, second by Councilwoman Kuhlberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is resolutions. Liz?
Does anyone want any resolution vote?
No.
No.
Seeing nobody, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda for resolutions? Resolutions 176 through 194.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Kuhlberg, seconded by Councilwoman Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Ordinances.
Ordinances will be presented for second reading and final adoption on April 24th, 2024. Ordinance 2418, bond ordinance appropriating $526,232 and authorizing the issuance of 1,150 bonds and notes of the borough for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Pompton Lakes in the County of the State of New Jersey.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2418 for introduction?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Kent.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Kuhlberg. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilmer.
Yes.
Ordinance 2419, amending Chapter 4 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Pompton Lakes and amending the fees for dog park sponsorship.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2419 for introduction?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Kuhlberg,
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman Kent. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilmer.
Yes.
Ordinance 24-20, amending revised general ordinance of the Borough of Pompton Lakes and regulating the removal, protection, and replacement of trees.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2420 for introduction?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Cruz,
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman Kent. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilmer.
Yes.
Ordinance 24-21, amending Chapter 190 of the Municipal Code of the Borough of Pompton Lakes, amending the stormwater control regulations in compliance with the requirements of the NJDEP stormwater rule.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2421 for introduction?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman Kuhlberg,
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman Kent. Roll call, please.
Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kent.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz. Kilmer.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, mayor's report. Couple things. Since most of my meetings happen later on, actually the MUA meeting and the redevelopment meeting, I have nothing for myself. However, I did want to point out a couple things. I happened to be in the borough of Madison a couple weeks ago, and I picked up this magazine called Edible New Jersey, and I like food, so I was like, it appealed to me. And I picked it up, and I started leafing through it, and funny enough, we have, our Pompton Lakes bid did an ad in this magazine called Culinary Diverse, Pompton Lakes, and there's a nice ad, and later on in this magazine, it as part of a New Jersey food tour, Pompton Lakes is called out. Again, it's an ad, but nevertheless, I did want to point out the fact that our bid is doing work to draw people into Pompton Lakes. One of the reasons why taking care of the garbage is so important, but we're putting ourselves on the map, and we're in the same magazine as people mentioned in Morristown, Hamilton, Madison, all of these places, and here's Pompton Lakes, and we have a lot of great restaurants, and it's a good thing that we're calling attention to it. What I haven't seen is this magazine in our town. So I'm hoping that Liz or Michael might reach out and see if we can get copies put in the municipal building, maybe at some of our restaurants and businesses in town, and we can, draw further attention to what our business improvement is doing. So that is that. I wanted to bring up the spring cleanup begins on April 11th and 12th, depending on where you are in the zone, and that's weather permitting, which is coming right up tomorrow and Friday. So that begins the spring cleanup season. I believe that we don't have garbage pickup on Thursdays and Fridays during that time period. Is that true, or am I just making that up?
No, I think that's correct.
Okay, so again, we'll be at one garbage pickup a week on Mondays and Tuesdays.
It's in addition?
Yeah.
It's in addition to?
Yeah, leaf season, it's like that.
Okay, my apologies.
Let's check our.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the calendar real quick.
Because I know leaf, it doesn't. You only have it one time. I'm not, the week.
I'll check, you can try.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then lastly, one of the things that our administrator brought up last month was Passaic County's doing a public infrastructure plan. And this is a strategic plan that directs priorities in terms of roadways, bridges, signage, things like that. And I did want to point out to the public, they are having a public meeting next Thursday, April 18th at 6 PM. It's an online virtual meeting. It's important to lend our voices to these kind of meetings at the county level, because when they hear from residents in Pompton Lake saying that this is what we need investment on Hamburg Turnpike, we need upgraded traffic signals, those kind of things, when people come out, the county pays attention. So I just want to bring that to people's attention. Michael, if you could at some point push this out via social media and make sure it's on our website. And that's it. Did we get an answer on the split layout?
Yes, we did. So they are picking up 2 days your garbage, but you have to take a look at which days they are, because the south is usually on Thursdays and the north is on Fridays. So just make sure you always check. You can put both out on those days. And it's usually Thursday or Friday. It doesn't look like it's the Monday or Tuesdays. So it's at the end of the week, not at the beginning of the week.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so it's a little different than the leaves.
So there is still garbage pickup twice a week. My apologies for
Yes.
making that statement. And that concludes my report. Councilman Cruz.
Thank you, Council President Deline. I attended the Board of Education meeting on April 2nd. During the meeting, there was a presentation by the Department of Guidance. And, for me, I think this is a fantastic program, and it kind of highlights what we need to do today with our teenagers. They introduced a teen mental health first aid for all students in the 11th grade. And just to recap what this program does, this is a comprehensive program rooted in evidence-based practices, equipping teens with the necessary skills to recognize, understand, and respond to signs of mental health and substance abuse use challenges among their peers. As we know today, I know when I was younger, obviously a lot of this was not available, but today to recognize that we do have a mental health issue, we do have a substance abuse issue nationwide, that they're able to now implement these types of programs, it's fantastic. Leading the presentation, obviously, was Ms. Daphne Linas and Ms. Rebecca Palermo. They're both certified instructors and endorsed by the Mental Health First Aid USA. The course is taught in 6 45-minute sessions, includes topics in the following areas. Let me just grab this. So the first is going to be in mental health in general, which is what mental health challenges are, how common they are in teens, the impact of mental health challenges on teens, how people with mental health challenges can better, professionals who can help. Session 3 is helping a friend who's in crisis because they are suicidal. Introducing the TMHFA action plan, which is look, ask, listen, help your friend, and how it can be introduced in crisis situations. And there's also a video associated with that. Session 4 is for helping your friend in another type of crisis, such as threatening violence or harm to others. Session 5, how to help a friend who may be in crisis due to substance use, how to help a friend who might be developing a mental health challenge. And lastly, recovery, resiliency, and all final activities to complete the course. Again, this just started. This began March 4th. It's fairly new. So the results obviously going into next season or next school year will be interesting to see how the program is moving along. Now, there was a second part to the presentation, and they were talking about all the college credit courses that Pompton Lakes High School offers, which I think it's amazing that you could actually get a handful of credits before even graduating. And I just want to highlight a few. We have advanced film and studies and production, anatomy and physiology, astronomy, calculus, academic, contemporary American experience, creative writing, economics, introduction to education, physics academics, and sociology. And for the 24-25 school year, honors physics is going to be implemented as well. And this is across collaborations with many universities. Just want to name a few that are here. William Patterson University, Ramapo College, Berkeley College, and the University of Delaware. And this expansion allows to introduce a broad range of courses tailored to diverse academic and career interest needs. And I think this is constantly evolving to remain competitive and offer the right curriculum for our students at Pompton Lakes High School. So again, fantastic programs that we have going on, and that'll do it for my report, Council President.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Kent.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. I just want to thank the Pompton Lakes Women's Club and all the members that came out tonight in their beautiful blue shirts, to thank them for coming and putting the pinwheels on and doing an amazing job throughout the town, throughout the year. Thank you very much, ladies. I also want to thank Mrs. Shortway, Kathy, for all you do. I know I'm behind you 100% in getting this resolved, so I want to thank you for taking the time, because it's very important that we have a clean town, because I know the bid, I was a bid liaison when they decided to go for the advertisement. Actually, it was my idea when I was on the bid liaison, because other towns, absolutely, they advertise all of their restaurants, they advertise all of their different community services, and our bid took that up, and I think it's a great thing, and I wish I had a copy of that. I would love to see it myself. So
We'll get some.
yeah, we'll get some, definitely get some. So thank you. And I also want to thank Alex Diaz and the Troop 388 for the wonderful Eagle Scout project that they're going to provide to us. And I know a couple of the young gentlemen that are in Troop 388, and they do a fabulous flower sale and Christmas sale for wreaths, and they're really a wonderful group. And we're very lucky to have those groups with us in Pompton Lakes. This past 2 weeks, I met with the Pompton Lakes Volunteer First Aid Squad. I introduced myself because I'm the new liaison to them, and they were very, very nice to me. And first time I ever saw the ambulance squad building, so it was kind of interesting. I'd never been in it, so it was nice to see that. Wonderful, dedicated folks as well. I also met with the volunteer fire department. I introduced myself again. I want to thank Al Evangelista for a lovely introduction that he gave me. We have a Dine and Donate Auxiliary Fire Department fundraiser on April 16th from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock at Wendy's. And again, you can go and support that. We'll go to the Auxiliary Fire Department, and the items that they need for the fire department outside of what they do on other fundraisers. I received my CERT gear, so I am officially a member. Thank you. I want to thank Deborah Ross. She does a great job with a big group, and I appreciate her assistance in that. And I met with the Shade Tree Commission on the upcoming ordinance 2024-20, and this is a pretty involved ordinance because it talks about permitting, application fees, replacement fees for private property trees, and for trees that have to be removed, or if you want to remove them, or if they have to be removed, and there's different requirements for that consideration, and depends on the size of the tree, the caliber of the tree, and we're going to have a lot of questions about this. There's going to be the fees that we have in the ordinance. The Shade Tree Commission is concerned. They feel they may be a little excessive, and they would like to meet with the administrator and the ordinance committee, if possible, just to iron out a couple different things. I do have some details. I don't want to take up a lot of time on the details, but there's a number of details that I think, because it's brand new and because we're dealing with private property, maybe we could be given an hour and a half of your time just to go over some of the questions that they have, and they're very valid questions. We were here till about 10 o'clock the other night, so we're very thorough with our review of that ordinance. So I want to thank the Shade Tree Commissioners on that. And we're still looking for funding for the Ramapo River bank restoration from the December storms. I want to thank Mayor Sarah and our administrator for making more and more phone calls to different organizations to try to get monies to come in and repair those necessary river banks. So we're still working on that. Okay, and let's get this garbage fixed. And I want to thank you. That's my report.
Lastly, I just want to thank you and congratulate you on becoming part of our CERT team.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Councilwoman Kuhlberg.
Okay, first, I'd like to make a motion to approve a request for Lakeside Middle School to close a portion of Lakeside Avenue, Lakeside Ave from Van Ave to Mandeville Street for the 8th grade award ceremony scheduled for Monday, June 17th, 2024. Rain date, June 18th, 2024, and June 19th, 2024, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., and to make Van Avenue between Lakeside Ave and Lenox Ave a one-way street from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Notify police, fire, first aid.
Okay. I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right.
Okay.
Oh, we have another one.
Oh, we have another one. Oh. A motion, may I have a motion to approve request for Pompton Lakes Volunteer Fire Department to close Passaic Ave from Ramapo Ave to Hamburg Turnpike, westbound one-way street, Sunday, May 19th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for firefighter Raymond Cahill 50th Memorial Service. Police to handle closure, fire, first aid notified.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman Kent. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Professional reports.
Well, I didn't, I'm not.
Oh,
done.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I
Oh, my
didn't
gosh.
actually do my report.
Yes, you have your actual report.
Yes. I attended the Flood Advisory Board meeting, and we discussed updates to the Prepare and Recover info booklet, and to increase visibility. And they talked about adding a QR code, with a link to the booklet on the outside of the calendar. And they would also like to, add or include a QR code with the link on the floodplain notification letter. I attended a Pompton Day meeting, and we have 28 vendors as of yesterday, and if anyone's interested, please, you can go to pomptonday@yahoo.com for more information. And you can find the vendor forms at pomptonlakes-nj.gov. And the river cleanup is May 5th, 9:30 to 12:30, meeting at Hirschfield Park. You can register at tinyurl.com/Pompton River Cleanup or in person that morning. And the summer camp is now hiring counselors. The applications are due April 15th to Borough Hall. And that is the same, pomptonlakes-nj.gov. And that's my report.
Thank you. Now we can do a professional reports.
Nothing of substance, Council President, although I'll let the council know, I will not be here for the next meeting. My partner, James Parisi, will be covering for me. I will be on vacation.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Michael.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few updates for tonight. At the last Borough Council meeting, the governing body awarded a contract for the Wanacue Ave paver replacements project. So businesses and residents and visitors will start to see work within the next 3 weeks along Wanacue Ave to reset all of the pavers in between the sidewalk and the road. We're going to start on the westerly side, on the side of Max Bar to start, given the construction activities on this side with the Meridia property. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to be hopefully completing the full stretch of the westerly side of Wanacue Ave. I would say the work should take about 3 weeks. So looking forward to that. We have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow for the Lincoln Ave Phase 2 Improvements Project. So we will have a clear understanding as to the project schedule, hopefully by tomorrow. Notifications will go out to all the residents, and the schools were invited to the pre-construction meeting as well to minimize the effects of all the school drop-off and pickup times. And lastly, tomorrow we have a bid opening for the Howard Street Improvements Project. So again, residents should receive a notice soon. We should have a firmer date once we award a contract at a future meeting. So look forward to that, hopefully within the next 2 months. So that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't do workshop this meeting. We have no tabled items. Public comment, again, please keep your comments to no more than 5 minutes per person. Can I get a motion to open the meeting for public comments?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Kuhlberg, seconded by Councilman Kent.
Cruz.
Cruz, I'm sorry.
Sorry about
Geez, man. Second by Councilman Cruz. Would anybody at least wish to speak? Absolutely.
Kathy Shilber again, on Street. Just wanted to say quickly, I have that magazine that you're talking about. I picked it up at ARCA
Oh, in Lincoln Park.
in Lincoln Park, yeah. And it was a glowing report about Pompton. So let's try to get the garbage off the street, so when people say, wow, this sounds really wonderful, and they come to Pompton, they don't see dirty diapers on the street. So that's the only thing, and I really would love an update on my suggestion for the part-time guy. Is there even that list?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Hinton?
Hesitated.
You did. I was gonna go a little faster than you are and close it.
I was gonna scratch my head, but, ordinance 2420. I have a little issue. Of course, I have a lot of issues, I guess, people would say. The issue is gonna be published in the paper, correct? It's already been published? It's in today's?
No, it goes in on Sunday.
It's gonna be in Sunday's paper. So that's one way that the town notifies the public. Also, it's hung up in the hallway. So that's two ways it notifies the public. This says amending the revised general ordinance of the Borough of Pompton Lakes and regulating the removal, protection, and replacement of trees. Well, that sounds wonderful if you're reading it in the paper, but it should say on private properties. Now this is the first notification of this ordinance. Then at the second, 2 weeks from now, people have a chance to speak on the ordinance. But if they don't know that it's on private property, how are they gonna know to come in and wanna find out what's going on with my private property? Right now, it's just kind of generic that everybody wants to, on removal, protection, and replacement of trees, it's not a big deal. But when they find out it's on their own personal property, the you-know-what is gonna hit the fan. And you're not giving them enough notification that maybe they would like to be at the next meeting in 2 weeks to voice their approval or disapproval. So that's misleading if you're putting that in the paper, which you said is probably gonna be in the paper on Sunday. It's not notifying the public, actually, what's gonna be happening. It's on their own personal private property. And we all know, a lot of people are gonna have a lot of issues with this. Now, this is coming down from the New Jersey DEP, so we understand that the town is kind of in a bind on this and has to do it. But if you want the people to know, it's gonna be on their own private property. And the way this is presented, it doesn't say on their own private property. It's gonna be an issue. You're kind of slipping it through without the public really knowing what's going on. Ordinance 2418 is a bond ordinance appropriating $526,000 for issues and problems that we have in the town. And Michael, give him a lot of credit, he's been doing a great job on that. But I just talked to DPW, and there's a major leak in the roof of the DPW garage. Now, I've said this before, the police department, they deserve and get what they need. The fire department needs equipment, they get what they need. The DPW is not like stepchildren. They're an integral part of our town. They take care of so much in our town. And that DPW garage, I worked in it 52 years ago. That thing is falling apart. We're still paying rental on the 2 trailers that the superintendent and supervisor sit in. That's ridiculous. We could have bought those trailers 3 times over. If you're doing a bond ordinance for one thing, do a bond ordinance for a new DPW garage. It's way past time that these guys have been working in that catastrophe of a garage. Please try to do something for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the meeting for public comment?
Motion?
Motion by Councilwoman Kent,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Kuhlberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, a couple things. Ms. Shortwave, who's left, again, we're going to have that discussion about the part-time employee. I don't know if it's feasible or not, but we will certainly look into it. To ordinance 2420, I have two questions on that, to Mr. Hinton, does ordinance 2420 only regulate private property, trees on private property? Okay. To that point, to our attorney, would changing the title of the ordinance be considered a substantial change and we would have to reintroduce?
I do not think changing the title would be a substantial change because it doesn't change the substance of the ordinance itself.
Okay, so can we, when we publish this notice,
I publish the full ordinance.
you publish the full ordinance?
It'll be the title and the full ordinance, so it will have.
It will have the full language, but can we
Yeah.
still change the title to include on private property?
Yeah.
Okay, so then at the very least, I agree with Mr. Hinton. It provides a little bit more clarity and transparency about what is being regulated by this ordinance. And again, there's no kind of about it. We are, just so people understand, every municipality in the state of New Jersey is being required to pass a tree protection ordinance that regulates the removal of trees on private property. It's part of, basically, they're looking at it as flood prevention. And it doesn't matter if you are in Pompton Lakes, it doesn't matter if you're in the city of Newark or any of these other places of the other 565, we all have to pass this ordinance. It's being sent down to us by DEP. It's a statutory requirement. So I understand that people will be upset. I'm not too crazy about the ordinance itself. It does have some benefits, but it is sort of a one-size-fits-all kind of approach by DEP, which is the wrong thing to do in my opinion. Ordinance 2418. Again, Mr. Hinton, you're absolutely right. The DPW garage is abhorrent. It's been abhorrent for quite a while. We do have investment in DPW operations that doesn't address their facility. As you know, change in facility has been ongoing. We do hope at some point to be able to move the DPW facility, but obviously that's not happening anytime soon. So in future years, we might have to pay more attention. Right now, we're plugging a lot of holes and filling a lot of gaps and trying not to invest too much in a new facility. But, at some point, our hand might be forced especially we can't move it. But again, we're in a challenged budget situation. Michael went through it last year. We're going to be probably adopting the budget at the next meeting. We would always like to do more, but we also have to, keep our residents in mind and do what we can. But, I don't disagree that our DPW in terms of the facility does deserve a lot better
We
than.
got a grant for the library, why can't we get a grant for?
Well, that grant was available and we can explore other options too, like that down the road. But, so we can only, take care of one thing at a time either. So, again, appreciate your comments.
That's been neglected too long.
Understood. Privilege of the floor. There's no privilege of the floor. Michael, I believe we have a closed session?
Yes.
All right, so can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting to closed session?
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Kent,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Kuhlberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. We do have to go into closed session. Open to, open meeting.
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Kent, seconded by Councilman Cruz.
Yes.
Now 8:39, closed session. We discussed personnel. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Kent, seconded by Councilman Cruz. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All right, thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.